How y'all doing? How are we feeling? Yeah? Ace Rivington? Is that the right? Did I say it right?
You did.
I did. Ace Rivington. Do we all enjoy it here? Are we feeling it? Yeah. Are the owners here? He said like give it up for the owners as if they're here. Are they
No,
here?
they're not.
They're not. Are they canoeing? I don't know. Right? Like they got a map on the ceiling. He's like, oh, look at all the places you can't go if you shop here. How are we doing? You feeling good? You know, one thing I've always thought, like, I've been thinking about this all week. The one name I hate more than any other name, Jessica. Okay? I've just been like, it's just like a thing. Is that like been come up before already tonight? Is that already been up? It's just been something I'm like thinking about, just kind of like off on my own, just like an independent thought. I wrote it down yesterday. This is crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's crazy, the coincidence. That's crazy. Chris pointed it out, but I don't think anybody else has it. How creepy those freaking wood nutcrackers are. Like, what's going on back there with the light? All right, that didn't crush. We feeling good? Okay, I think I've done all of the Ace Rivington jokes. No, yeah, that's about all. Today I moved recently, which is pretty fun, just to Burbank, and but I moved and I had to like turn in keys to my last place, and I don't know, you know, California, right? There's like a lot of laws of tenant protection with security deposits and stuff, and my last landlord was not following any of those protections, so I'm sliding in my keys, and I'm like, hey, I expect my full security deposit because you didn't do any of the things that you're legally required to do, right? And they pushed back, and I was like, I don't think they realize that I'm a comedian with a lot of time on my hands. If something goes wrong, I'm gonna make content in small claims court, okay? I'm gonna be like, here we are guys, we're in small claims court, I'm talking to my landlord, taking them in, I got enough time for that. All right, that was something I wrote down. It's all good. I'm from Indiana originally. Any other Hoosiers out there?
Woo!
Yeah, for real, where are you from in Indiana?
Northwest Indiana.
Okay, where?
Over.
Like Fort Wayne? Not that's Northeast Indiana.
No, next to Gary.
Gary. Oh, okay. You can say Gary. You can just admit it. Are you from Gary?
I'm from next to Gary.
Yeah, you said that. What's your real town name?
Hobart?
I don't know. I know Whiting. I've been to Whiting.
Yeah, it's a little further from there.
Okay. That's my time. Oh man, what a night of Santa Barbara that would be. That's worth 2.5 hours of a drive. When you're from Indiana and you've got a last name like Kassebaum, that's my last name. It's a very German last name. I don't know if you know this, right? If you have a German last name and you're from the Midwest, you're probably of German descent, right? But if you live in Los Angeles and you have a German last name, especially like Kassebaum, you're probably Jewish, right? Just, I don't know if you know based on immigration patterns, right? So I get asked in Los Angeles all the time if I'm Jewish, and I've had to get really good at saying that I'm not, but saying it in a way that doesn't sound like I was offended by the question, you know? People will be like, are you Jewish? And I'm like, no, but if I could have been. If it had been up to me, you know, absolutely. It's just not really my call at the end of the day. Like the chosen people, I'm in. I can't make that call for myself. You know, it's not how my parents brought me up, you know what I mean? I'm on Venmo. Are you guys on Venmo? Yeah. I'm not just gonna try to solicit money, I promise there's a joke. I love Venmo. It's my favorite financial transaction app. I think it is. I like it more than PayPal or Cash App, because I don't know if you guys have been on Venmo. It has the added benefit of also trying to be a social media for some reason. Have you guys seen that? What the frick's going on there, guys? Yeah, if you guys know, right, you swipe over on Venmo. This is a financial transaction app. And you swipe over, and you get to look at a list of your friends' financial transactions, okay? In what world do you can like and comment on other people's financial transactions, okay? This is a banking app, okay? You can scroll through other people's financial transactions that are, it's not even you and them, it's them and each other, okay? Who wanted that? How is that a desired tech feature, right? I don't want to know what my friends are doing without me from my bank. I don't want that. I already get FOMO from all the other social media, right? I don't want to get onto my banking app and be like, they grabbed a glass of wine without, it's always like an emoji, right? They grabbed a glass of wine without me. They bought a piece of pizza without me. You know, they bought an eggplant without me. You know what I mean? I don't want to want to see that on my banking app. You know what I'm trying to say? That's not what I'm here for. Or probably some tech bro up in Silicon Valley one day who was like, oh, my ex blocked me on Instagram. Let me see if there's a different toxic way I can keep track of it. Let me see if I can get my banking application to do that for me. Absolutely ridiculous. If they're going to make it a social media, though, I've decided I'm going to use it the way God intended social media to be used, which is as a place for my stand-up comedy. So please follow me on Venmo, everybody. I'm blowing up on Venmo. As soon as they put video capabilities on Venmo, I'm going to shoot through the roof, okay? All that Jessica stuff going on Venmo tomorrow, okay? It's going to be killer, okay? I've got hilarious financial transactions. You guys really want to follow me, okay? I promise. I love it. My favorite thing to do if I'm bored on Venmo, and I am still talking about it, if I'm really bored on Venmo, right, you ever taking a dump, you're sitting at the airport and you get really bored and you're scrolling through TikTok and you're just like, I feel like I finished the app. You ever get there, right? And all of a sudden, all the TikToks are just bad, right? And it's all of a sudden just like some kid's soccer practice. And it's like, how did I get, and like some proud aunt is cheering on their niece, and you're like, how did I get here? So I swipe on over to my next social media of choice, which I'm sure is like you, LinkedIn, okay? I want to see if there's a job out there just for me, okay? And if I get bored enough on LinkedIn, never happens, what I like to do is I swipe on over to Venmo, where I get to look at a list of my friends' financial transactions, something I wanted, I guess. And what I like to do is I like to just like as many as I can. I just like to just blast through that, just spray and likes, right? I want my friends to be like, why did Jared just like my rent payment, you know? Does he know something I don't know? Am I about to get evicted right here? You know, is he talking to my landlord? Going to small claims court? That's my first callback. I'm going to be the world's first Venmo comedian. I'm already the world's first Goodreads comedian. Are you guys on Goodreads? Nobody's on Goodreads. Okay, Santa Barbara, not a reading town. All good. You guys know what Goodreads is? Yeah, it's a social media. You know, you've chosen not to. That's all right. None of you are on Goodreads? That's crazy to me. None of you are on the best social media where you get to write and follow each other's book reviews? I'm not even trying to be a Goodreads ad. There's just usually at least one other nerd out there. I love Goodreads. I do enjoy books. I used to work at a bookstore in Los Angeles, and I know you're probably thinking, this guy's Venmo jokes are so good, there's no way he's ever had a day job. I have. And I worked at a bookstore for a while, and I got to write little recommendation cards for the different books, and I would put them on the bookshelves, right? We call them shelf talkers. It was very cute, and one that I like to share is for a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. I don't know if you know the book. It's like a personal finance book. Oh yeah, I love that. What was it?
Ramit Sethi.
Yeah, Ramit Sethi. Given the author, it doesn't really pertain to the joke, but I like that. One time I shared this joke on Instagram, and he liked it, which did feel good. But it's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And so this is what I wrote for the book, to put it up on the shelf in the bookstore. I said, this book has been very helpful for me and my family, but not helpful enough because I still work at this bookstore. I like that one a lot. I do. Y'all know the phrase, boss makes $1, I make a dime. Say it if you know it, that's why I poop on company time. Right? That's a good phrase, right? I didn't make the phrase, but it's a good phrase, okay? I can't take credit for the phrase, but that's a phrase to live by, okay? Whenever you're having a job, whenever Chris is working here, right? Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. That's like a Marxist manifesto for our time, okay? That phrase is like pro-labor. It's pro-union, you know what I mean? Have you ever been sitting, taking a dump while you're at your job, and you calculate how much you're making while you take that dump? Have you ever done that math for your job? Dude, that is one of the best feelings in the world, okay? All of a sudden you're like, I do like my job, you know? I'm making like $4 right now, right? You feel empowered all of a sudden. All of a sudden you feel like you're taking power back from the man, you know what I mean? You feel good about yourself. All of a sudden you're like, I do have a career here, you know what I mean? Like it feels good, right? Because if I have to poop at home, but I know I'm going into work later that day, I'll hold it, right? How would I do that at home if I'm about to get paid to do that? That's just bad business at the end of the day, right? That's just drink a little bit of extra coffee. That's practically tax evasion, okay? Feels good. You talk about the night before and you make money all day, is what I'm trying to say, right? Feels good. I've got a friend in LA. He told me he makes $7.83 per dump. What a guy. What a job. He's crushing. He's working for Netflix. He's doing well for himself. You know what I mean? all of that, right? Like, I didn't even really realize until I wrote this joke how much work I took home with me. You know what I mean? That's the best joke style about tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Because in California and most states, right, if you post a job posting to LinkedIn or Indeed or something, you have to include the expected compensation rate, right? But it's always something like 80K salary, 90K salary. I don't know what that means, right? You got to put it in terms us working folk can actually understand. I want to see a job posting that's like Google analyst, $18 per dump. You know, that's going to get real hard working folk in the door. Any of you have done the math on how much you make when you take a dump? You want to share? Anyway, this is my crowd work section. Anybody? I can move on. It's not always fun. If anybody wants to, sir, how much do you make while you take a dump? $2 while you take a dump? Is that a fast dump or a tiny salary? Quick poop, you go for it fast? How fast are you pooping?
Oh my gosh.
Lots of fiber.
That's not fiber. That's like laxative. What? 3 minutes? You've timed it? You know this off the top of your head? You're like, yeah, it only takes me 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, $2. So you're rocking. What is that? 20 an hour?
I'm used to averages.
I'm just trying to figure out how much you make and how you're here. I was kidding. Okay, I am gonna move on. That wasn't as fun as I expected. That's all good. I'll move on. I've never seen a Cybertruck carry anything. Huh? You guys ever seen a Cybertruck with something in the back of it? Huh? What's going on there, guys? Huh? You guys looking at me like y'all own Cybertrucks. What's going on? Does anybody here own a Cybertruck? Good, okay. I've never seen a Cybertruck carrying a sofa. Isn't that the point of a pickup truck? It's an electric pickup truck. I've never once seen it carry something. They're just like a big, drivable, broken microwave, right? That's all they are. I know it's easy to hate on Cybertrucks because we all think they look stupid, right? And that's not a creative thought, but so I'm trying to come up with a creative way to hate on Cybertrucks, right? Because when I look at a Cybertruck, my instinct is to want to whip out my keys and just scrape it up a little bit, right? Anybody else? Like, I have to restrain myself from whipping it out. They look like a second grader drew a car based on the memory of a car, right? It's like one big rectangle, 4 small circles, right? And just like, oh wow, nice job. It's like the only people who think Cybertrucks look cool are children, right? And the only reason I don't think Elon Musk's kids designed the Cybertruck themselves is because they don't talk to him, you know? And that's just documented facts at the end of the day. I was helping a friend of mine move recently, and I texted in a group chat, I was like, anybody got a pickup truck that I'd be able to use to help my friend move? And somebody responded, and they were like, yeah, I could probably get you access to a Cybertruck. And I was like, anybody else? Anybody else got a pickup truck I'm not embarrassed to drive around, you know? The people who drive Cybertrucks, they're not even the type of people to help you move anyway, right? They're the type of people to tell you to get ChatGPT to help you move, and then still somehow complain immigrants are the ones taking our jobs. You know what I mean? Those are the type of people that drive Cybertrucks. Anyway, don't buy them. That's the end of that segment. Don't buy them. This is the topical section of my set. I think Trader Joe's is too cool. It's too cool. It's the only grocery store that's even remotely cool, and somehow it's very cool, right? No other grocery store is even kind of cool, right? If you go to like a Vons or a Ralph's, it's like, get out of there, right? It's like so not cool. It's like get in and out. But Trader Joe's is like very cool. Like, how did they skip kind of cool and go? Like, working at a Trader Joe's is like a coveted position somehow, right? It's like being a barista or being unemployed. You know, it's like cool somehow. It's like you have to be like cool to work there, right? You have to have like a tattoo to work at a Trader Joe's, right? But not even like a normal tattoo. It's like the fine line tattoo. You know what I mean? Like the dainty kind, the kind of tattoo that says like I might be bisexual. You know what I mean? But it's not bisexual, at least an ally. You know what I mean? That kind of tattoo. Right? And no offense to like Vons or Ralph's, like I enjoy being scared in the parking lot as much as the next guy. But they're just like not cool. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that it factor that you expect from a freaking grocery store these days. Because if a Trader Joe's employee flirts with you, we all know it, right? We kind of enjoy it, right? It's nice. It's a little nice, right? You don't like that you like it, but you do like it. If a Vons employee flirts with you, you can kind of see the missing teeth in their smile, you know? It's just like a totally different vibe, right? if you're working at a Trader Joe's, like, you fought to be there. If you're working at a Vons, it's like, oh, everything all right? I love that. The next topic, I think we give Disney adults too bad of a rap, huh? Yeah? Have we got any Disney adults out there? I love how polarizing that is. Some people are like, no, make it worse for them. Let's make fun of them harder. Any self-proclaiming Disney adults out there? Okay. Yeah, you're too embarrassed to admit it if you are. And this guy thinks, I think we give Disney adults too bad of a rap, though, right? I think Disney adults, what are they? We break it down, right? It's people who wear costumes, dress like their favorite characters they only ever see on TV. They get together with other groups of people also dressed in those characters that they only ever see on TV. They get very upset with you if you aren't as into it as they are. What is all that also describe? Football, okay? Football fans, okay? Disney adults just took all the annoying cultural elements of being like a diehard sports fan and gave it a theater kid twist. That's all they did, right? Like, oh, you think you're so big and masculine and manly because you root for your regionally mandated group of men in spandex? Like, come on, okay? Football, you have fantasy leagues. Fantasy leagues. You come together with your friends and create a shared fantasy, okay? That is the most Disney adult shit I've ever heard in my life, okay? And you want to make fun of Disney adults just because they believe that it's the happiest place on earth? Like, oh, we would have won state if coach had put me in. You wouldn't have. You would. Would have lost worse, huh? Okay. I miss sleepovers, yeah, and I'm freaking tired of not talking about it, huh? Do you guys miss sleepovers? Yeah? I think we all miss sleepovers and we avoid the topic because we want to call it something else, right? We want to call it like a weekend at an Airbnb. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys are aware, you don't have to spend $500 to have a sleepover with your friends, okay? You can do that at home, okay? You can just have people over. You don't have to go out to like Joshua Tree or Big Bear or whatever. I don't know where you guys go to. Both of those? You just drive a little bit further than me, I guess. You don't have to go there just to recreate the childhood experience of having a good time with your friends, staying up all night, playing Xbox. If you want to play Xbox all night with your bros, just get over your fragile masculinity and say, hey bro, do you want to sleep on the couch next to me tonight, right? That's all you have to do. You don't need to spend $500 to do that with your friends, okay? It's not, and I know you're looking at me, oh, it has to have a hot tub. It doesn't, okay? It doesn't have to have a hot tub. It just makes it way harder to find a place, okay? You're gonna use it like once, like be real about it, okay guys? It just makes it more expensive. The beer and the edibles, they can come home, is what I'm trying to say, right? You know who's never gonna charge you a cleaning fee? Yourself, okay? Just do it at home. Cleaning fee. That's what I thought I was already paying for, right? And I don't like small plates restaurants. Yeah, I'm an edgy comedian. I don't like small plates restaurants, okay? I've never been to a small plate restaurant that doesn't have big plate prices, okay? Never once in my life, okay? This is a feeling I've never had when eating at a small plate restaurant. That was begging for my buck. Never once in my life, okay? Never once. In my opinion, if it's a smaller plate, it should be a smaller price, okay? That's just simple math to me. You guys are looking at me like you like getting ripped off. Come on, guys. It's not a good feeling, right? And they're looking at us like, oh, we're allowed to call it a small plate because we're allowed to charge you so much for 3 dumplings for $15 or whatever. I'm looking at it like, how is this? I've never eaten at a small plate restaurant and not still wanted to drive by Taco Bell on the way home to make sure I don't go hungry through the night. You know what I mean? We already have a word in our culture for smaller plates. I don't know if you guys know it. It's called an appetizer, okay? And it comes before more food, okay? It's the beginning, not the end. Okay, if you need a good appetizer though, you guys ever been to BJ's Brew House?
Oh,
Yeah? They got great appetizer deals. You can go, eat a well-priced appetizer, make a very obvious sex joke, and have a pizookie on the way home, okay? It's a good Friday night right there, okay? I love BJ's Brew House. I think it's crazy they exist, guys. Guys. BJ's, guys. They did that. They got away with it, okay? We've got a restaurant chain in this country called BJ's Brew House. And when I mentioned them in this joke, you all looked at me like, yeah, that's a normal restaurant name. What? Until I called it out, you were like, yes, Applebee's, BJ's. What? It's a BJ's Brew House? What? If that's not proof of God, I don't know what is. Like, you could be driving around and see a BJ's and just have a good time. You could do that on your own. That's beautiful, right? You don't need, there's a corporate office for BJ's. It's in Irvine. I drive past it all the time, okay? You're driving south on the 405, you look to your right, big corporate building, it just says, BJ's. Man, they did that. They nailed it. And we all act like that's fine. There was some kid one day named like Brian Johnson or something, right? And he was like, when I get older, people are going to respect my initials. I'm going to make a pretty mid-bar and grill. I'm going to brew our own beer. People are going to respect me. Yeah, I died at the end, but that was fun. Man, we're just having so much fun. This is probably my edgiest. I got too close to you, I'm sorry. But this is probably my edgiest joke. Okay, if you don't like it, there'll be more, okay? Do you guys think that little people, stay with me, do you think that little people, I'm looking at you guys are so tight right now, you guys think that little people, they're looking at us, and they're going, you finally came up with a term called short kings. And it's not about us, right? There's a marginalized people group known for being short for all of human history, and we give the title of short kings to like some 5'8" white guy named Brandon, okay? Who's insecure for not being 6 foot, and the little people are just like, you're passing over me to give them royalty? I need a way to end that, but I love that premise so much. This is probably the most political joke I've got. I know we had an election, I'm not going to talk about it, but there is, this is my pitch to get universal health care adopted nationally, okay? What'd you say?
I said, let's go.
Let's go! Not Jessica energy, I like it. You have to, when somebody in the spotlight talks. This is my pitch to get universal health care on board nationally, okay? We need to reframe the idea of health care as bodily defense, okay? Then we can sneak it into our defense budget. No one would even know, okay? We've got the world's largest military and defense budget. You'd think we could defend against some pathogen invaders, okay? Sneaking across our borders, okay? They're from Pathogenistan, that's all you gotta say, okay? Boom, funding solved all the way, right? A terrorist sleeper cell? Yeah, a terrorist sleeper one-celled organism, okay? Let's do this, let's beat them together, let's diabeat this, okay? And I know you're probably thinking, we should spend our defense budget the old-fashioned way, which is to, kill enemy civilians and combatants from other countries on their own soil. And if that's what you're thinking, you would be right to have been our strategy for quite some time, okay? But this statistic might actually surprise you. There are more Americans killed every year by disease than by Palestinian children. Okay? I'm just saying you wouldn't know based on where the money is going. That's all I'm trying to say at the end of the day. Okay? Gotta talk about it. Gotta talk about it. Man, we're having so much. Gotta talk about it. Yeah, this is a pretty big left turn. Whenever I'm talking to like a musical artist or anything, and I tell them that like I like their album, you ever heard somebody respond with this and they say thanks, but it's all God? You ever heard that? Thanks, but it's all God. Whenever somebody says it's all God, I just want to be like, all God? Is it all God? All of that was God? Because if you made that album, that's like really impressive. That's awesome, right? You want to tell me God made that album? Not his best work. Okay? Right? You put years of hard work and energy into crafting that musical experience. That's awesome. Good for you. Great job, buddy. Right? You want to tell me the divine being in charge of the whole universe made that album? I don't know, man. Right? You think he's up there going, I want to make all of this, and then this album? I don't know. And God's up there like, don't drag me into this, I never told him to do anything. I actually told Drake to stop. You know what I mean? That's what God's out there thinking, right? I'm gonna tell a couple longer stories as I end out of here. I was home in Indiana recently, and I was chatting with my dad, and my dad's not like an adventurous guy, okay? My dad's the type of guy that when I was growing up, he would say things like, why should we go camping when God invented hotels, right? He's that type of guy. So I was very surprised when I learned recently when I was home that my dad was the subject of a major lawsuit in 1982 in Tampa, Florida. He was working his summer job as a store clerk at a local Albertsons grocery store, and he accidentally, while shelving the shelves, he had accidentally pushed a cart and kind of nicked a customer in the leg. And that woman, her name was Ruth, she sued the Albertsons for over $1 million for the pain. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. You'll think that even more by the end of this. She sued for over $1 million for the pain and suffering supposedly that this event caused. Right? Now, my dad just claims that he kind of lightly nicked her, like understandably perturbed, but nothing crazy. Right? I have on good authority though that Ruth's testimony is quite different. Right? I have a newspaper clipping from the 1982 Tampa Tribune where a journalist went to this trial and recorded everything that was said. Okay, so this is Ruth's actual testimony in a court of law. Ruth claims that my dad hit her with the grocery store cart. She was flung up against the nearest shelf. She then fell back onto the shelf and continued. My dad continued to push the cart, okay, for 40 feet. Okay, that's her official testimony, according to court of law, for 40 feet before he realized she was on the cart. Okay? And again, my dad just claims he kind of lightly nicked her. Usually, believe women, but not Ruth. You know what I mean? Like, most of them, yes, but I'm going to make an exception here for Ruth. She goes on in her testimony to describe her before and after story for this collision at the supermarket. This is what she said. She said, before the collision, Ruth led an active, happy life. She bowled a solid 168. That's the first thing. That's the first thing to paint a vivid picture of her before and after in her life. She chose like an average, a barely above average bowling score, right? That's her first, it's a decent score, but is that the first thing you want to choose? To say that's the beautiful life I used to live? I used to go bowling occasionally, apparently. Like, come on. Bowled a solid 168, she rode her beloved horse, and she danced a night away at parties. But since June 21st, 1981...
Asshole.
Okay, I think now you're just like thinking of different customers. And you're like, let me see which one I can throw out. But no, that was good. That was hilarious. You guys got to book her. So I rode her beloved horse. But since June 21st, 1982, the night of the collision, Ruth has become a hypochondriac who cannot dance or bowl, cannot enjoy a normal married life. And then it says in quotes, even kissing my husband is painful now. Which is starting to sound like a pre-existing medical condition, right? If you think about it. They say that the Albertsons brought out a psychological expert, okay, to testify that Ruth's problems did not originate in the collision at the supermarket, but rather had their origins in her troubled childhood, which is a very expensive way for Albertsons to say, we did not hurt her, she's crazy, okay? And she's been crazy for a very long time, actually, right? You're probably wondering if she won any money. She ended up winning $144,000, okay, that they settled out of court. You're probably also wondering, where is Ruth now? And I hate to say though, doing research for this joke, I looked up where Ruth was. No, but I looked it up, right, and I found out that she actually passed away a couple of years ago. She got hit by a second shopping cart. So, I have no idea if she's alive. I hope not. I have no idea. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to tell one more story and get out of here. I was a barista for a while, which is probably obvious. And I was a barista in 2020 when the pandemic hit, and I was a barista at a coffee shop in Brentwood, okay, at a very pretentious coffee shop in a very pretentious part of Los Angeles. And I was a barista in June of 2020 when the Black Lives Matter protest got very big, okay? And the coffee shop that I worked at, they wanted to post something to show that they support the Black Lives Matter protest, but I don't want to bury the lead for too long because they did a terrible job, okay? If you didn't like the whole black square thing, you're gonna hate this, okay? This is very real. What they did, this coffee shop, they posted a photo to their Instagram account of a cup of coffee that didn't have cream in it, okay? You guys catch what I'm saying? A lot of sides, I feel like you're catching out. I know that's too much of an insider term in the coffee business here, okay? But we call that black coffee, right, okay? And as if we didn't understand the point they were trying to make, the caption said, we like our coffee black. And black was in all caps, okay? And I feel you guys all pulling away from me. This is not me, okay? The caption's gonna continue to throw you for a loop. It said, hashtag all lives matter, okay? I know, a lot lot of mixed signals going on in that post, okay? A lot of different things being communicated. They took it down the next day, but the guy who posted it claimed for months that he thought that All Lives Matter was, in fact, the correct hashtag to post if he wanted to support the protest. Super confused. He had no idea why racists would come in and high-five him that day. He had no idea what was going on, right? And every now and then I'll say that line and people are like, all lives matter doesn't automatically make you a racist. Maybe you've heard that, maybe you believe that. That all lives matter does not automatically make you a racist. And I want to concede that all lives matter might not automatically make you a racist automatically. But you have to ask yourself in these scenarios, which of the two hashtags would the racist prefer? Okay? Just think about it for like a half second, okay? Just a little bit. More than that, I love to dive into the idea that a cup of black coffee could somehow show my solidarity with the black community in America. As if I could think to myself, I'm gonna be an ally today, you know? And I walk into a coffee shop and I'm like, one coffee, please. And they're like, do you want cream in that coffee? And I go, no. What's the name I should put on the cup? Barack Obama, #1 fan. Please, thank you so much. Walk outside, I did something with my life today, you know? To me, that'd be like if I ran a sub shop, like a sandwich store, and I wanted to show my support for the Italian community, maybe in a time of Italian unrest in this country. I think that's hilarious. And they posted a photo to their store's Instagram account of an Italian sub, which is mostly like a lot of salami, right? And in the caption it said, we like our subs Italian. Italian in all caps to really get the point across, right? But then it said, hashtag, it's a me, Mario. Similar levels of confusion there, guys. All right, I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank you all so much for having me.